Right, that makes sense. And, actually, you talk about careers in radio, obviously programming an alternative radio station. We have young bands, baby bands coming to us all the time saying, wanting their music on the air. And it's up to us to accurately, give the public, give the audience, give our listeners what they want to hear, what we feel like the next big hit's going to be. So there is a lot of intuition used in that.
Absolutely, and always there's going to be the band who tries to bribe you, and if you do that, you'll end up not having a radio show.
Right, exactly. So if I was to throw out, let's say, a few bands that were thinking, and you don't know anything about the bands. In fact, I don't even know that much about the bands. If I throw out a few names, would you be able to, just based on your intuitive feeling, tell us who you think is going to be big this year?
You know what, I wouldn't want to do that, but what I would do, if you'll do the same for me, because I think it's really essential for me not to be the expert. So I would be happy to describe what a strength of a band is. I'm not going to predict who's going to be successful. That's doing your job for you. But then I would like you to do the same for me.
Okay, how do I do that?
Okay, well, the first thing, the biggest mistake people make with intuition is they confuse it with creative visualization or imagination or brainstorming, and it's not. With intuition, what you do is you follow your attention. You don't look for anything. And you get things in bits and pieces. So, for example, you said 3 bands.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing I get is a very deep color of navy. Now, that will mean absolutely nothing until you would tell me the names of the bands and until I would get clearer into it. But I would write that down because for me, at a certain point, that's going to be meaningful.
Well, 2 of the bands have... Oh, sorry.
And you never, ever, 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 and you who are listening, never give an intuitive information. For example, I don't follow who's up for awards because if someone does ask me, the minute I have information, it's harder to intuit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
So I would say, for example, one of the bands I see a band of 3 people. All 3 are men. One of them's going to break off, and the 2 together are not going to be successful. But one of the pair is going to end up very successful, and not the one you would think, not the vocal one, the one who has more musical ability. You get these little bits and pieces. However, even if you, the intuitive, don't know what you're talking about, the person listening should be able to identify it. You follow the information. The hardest thing about intuition is actually reporting the information that you get without knowing what you're talking about. Because my students are saying, well, how do you know you're right? I say, I know I'm right when my clients don't fire me.
Right.
I know I'm right because most of intuition is most useful in the future. Unless, of course, I teach, for example, actors how to know ahead of time what the casting director wants. Or, I teach people how to make themselves more attractive to a man they haven't met or a woman they haven't met who they might want to bring into their lives or an employer they haven't met. So intuition's kind of an idiot's gift. 2-year-olds are intuitive. They're not intellectuals. If you have significant trauma before the age of 5 and 30 years of good psychiatry, you can use intuition effectively. The other way to do it is to have the basic bumpy life and then get How to Rule the World from Your Couch and learn the skills and apply them to your goals.
And that's the name of the book, How to Rule Your World...
How to Rule the World from Your Couch, Laura Day.
Laura Day. And, that leads me to my last question. You touched on it a little bit about, attracting that man or that woman that you may have not met yet. Valentine's Day is this weekend. What do you tell somebody who's single, who's looking for that love?
Well, there's a chapter on the book called Body Heat Telepathy, which is both good for attracting a love and getting a yes from someone, whether you're negotiating a deal or trying to sell a product to a market. And telepathy is sending a message, and we also receive messages, which has all of its own complications. And we do this all the time without being aware of it. There's, once again, a lot of scientific data. You can go on Google and see experiments going back 60 years, documented and proven at major universities. But one of the ways you can use telepathy is to really experience the warm, sensual, exciting parts of yourself and then take yourself for a test drive while doing it. And what you'll notice is, as someone interests you, you will naturally, if you're focused on attracting and using intuition to do it, because often when we try to attract, we actually go to the most defensive, unattractive parts of ourselves. But if you're employing intuition, what you'll notice is that you go to different parts of yourself, and often you do do that through memory. And you allow those parts to fill you so that you're not who you are every day. You're who you were perhaps in a memory that took place 7 years ago. But what you're sending is a more attractive message to people. And what you'll find is you get very different responses. It's a little more complex than that. I tried to dumb it down, like quicken it up for something I could give people quickly. But there is a chapter on body heat telepathy on how to rule the world from your couch, and it's actually wonderful to do in groups. I did it for a large group where I had everyone do it on everyone else, and it was a pretty amazing group.
Yeah,
I literally walked around the room sending out body heat, and it was pretty dynamic.
Yeah. Now, how would someone get involved with you if they want get in touch with you if they wanted to get involved with one of your training courses?
I am so easy to get in touch with because people write me such private stuff. I am the only one. If you Google me, I'm not the stripper in Colorado. I'm the writer in New York, Laura Day, D-A-Y. I answer all my own email. It takes me about 3 hours every morning. I have a Twitter, Laura Day Intuit, and a Facebook, and a website, howtoruletheworldfromyourcouch.com. And I'm really very hands-on because I don't take clients. I really do training. So I read people in the trainings, and people learn to read each other. So you know the ethics of the people who are reading you. And you call an 800 number, and for all you know, that person's a sociopath on the other line.
Sure.
You know, if you're in a room with people, you can make a judgment. And then you have a group who, for free, you share resources, whether you need it for your business or your love life or to restructure your family or just not to, you've hit rock bottom just to find your way back up quickly.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to reading the whole book and seeing if I can't tap into this. It sounds like we all have, like, some retraining to do. Is that right? I mean, that's... We grow up or we evolve into maybe some bad habits of how we think or react to our own...
Well, if I have 2 seconds, I'd really love to address that.
Absolutely.
It's really important for children to repress intuition because intuition allows you to see or be anything or anyone, anywhere at any point in time. And if children did not repress intuition, they would be psychotic and not psychic by the time they were 6.
Wow.
So it's natural to repress intuition as we learn about community and as we develop intellect. The problem is that we become so rigid that when we need to re-engage intuition in order to have an edge in the world, we're unable to. Which is why you don't want intuitive children. You want obedient, social, community-oriented children who channel their intuition into creativity. Intuition should be learned by adults, and I don't allow young people in my workshops. I mean, under 18, 18 is my absolute cutoff. Under 21 makes me a little edgy.
Yeah, that's great. That's amazing. Well, the book, go get it now. How to Rule the World from Your Couch by Laura Day, and contact her too. Just Google Laura Day. You'll be able to track her down, and she can train you. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope to talk to you. Yeah, I hope to talk to you soon.
Tell me how it goes for you. I think you will freak yourself out as you see what your own mind can do.
No, I'm looking forward to it. We'll reconnect here soon.
I want your predictions on the award ceremony. I'll put them on my save file. Okay.
All right. Thanks, Laura.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.